This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 898 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today, Hillary Moore Hebert, senior editor of Dressage Today magazine and DressageToday.com, joins the Dressage Radio Show crew for a chat about creating a long-term plan using short-term goals, and then everyone weighs in on whether or not schooling your test should be part of your plan. And we'll get right to it after this special holiday message from EquestrianCollections.com.
Hi there, everybody. This is Chris Duggan at Equestrian Collections, and I'd just like to take brief moments of your time to wish you all a super Merry Christmas this year from me and also from all of our staff here who are still being very, very busy Christmas elves today, but by the time you're listening to this, hopefully we'll all be back at home with our feet up and returning to doing some packing, which after the thousands and thousands of boxes just packed, maybe we won't do the Christmas wrapping, but I just wanted to stop a moment and thank you all very, very much for buying from us, for being our customers, also listening to some of the episodes that we've done with Glenn on products. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday.
So speaking of taking your time and sort of mapping out a plan, Kira Kirkland really talks about how to train for competitive riding in her article that is from her book as a special excerpt that we got to do. And we chose this because we thought it was really important. And it's not just for riders who are going to be going to the shows. It's more, I think, a way for her to talk about the fact that a lot of riders who are successful at shows have a long-term plan, and with that comes short-term goals. And her tip was really looking at, what the plan is. Don't just get on and ride and say, okay, 45 minutes is up, that's the end of it. Really have a plan, and at the same time have a plan at the shows, and know what your purpose is and figure out what you have for your warm-up, figure out what you have for your work session, why are you doing it, and not to be distracted, whether you're at home or in the ring, by what other people are doing for their warm-up, and really just focusing on what is best for you and your horse. And I think that this is a great thing that also applies to the young horses, like what we were just talking about, where she's talking about, working with a trainer if you need help, but just coming up with a plan of why you're doing what you're doing every day with your horse. And I thought that was really helpful. And I do the same thing with all of my students in terms of coming up with, their short-term goals, knowing what level they're really working at, even if they don't ever go to shows.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. You get nervous. Everyone does, even professionals at a show. And when you have a plan, when you're able to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do at this point, it makes such a difference. And so we work a lot and talk a lot about that at My Barn. And we also, we use schooling shows for that type. And we don't say, oh, it's just a schooling show. Nope. The horses are braided. Everybody wears the stuff that they're going to wear at the recognized show, because it's just part of the plan, getting to the recognized show and getting to whatever goal you have for that year. So I think that people don't train that enough. So I think that's a huge important thing to work on.
Yeah, I mean, I like to ride kind of a little bit every day, like I would in a warm up for a show, and then by the end of my ride, I want to run through a few of the movements so that, it's kind of like when I do get to a show, I know what my ride feels like and looks like. And so, every day I'm a little bit preparing the horse for, maybe it's just a certain section of the test or of a particular test or something, or just a few movements in a pattern. But okay, I go through, I do a walk, warm up, trot warm up, canter warm up, and then I start to do a little bit of movements. And by the end, I say, okay, now I'm going to go movement to movement to movement to movement to say, okay, this is a little bit like a test situation, so that it's not scary when you get to a show, and that you can say, okay, my goal is to ride such and such a test. I've been going through it, even if it's piece by piece, for a long, every day for a long time. And then it just feels like it flows. So I say, or I go through and I start to ride the movements. I say, oh, that doesn't feel right. I'm going to go back and rework that movement so that, I've done the warm up for the movements, for instance, like a pirouette, right? I've done the warm up for a pirouette, then I've done a few pirouettes, and then I do a changes line to some heavy changes to a pirouette. Oh, does that all feel like it's good and it flows? And there's a plan for our riding, and when you're involved in dressage as the sport, you've got very concrete goals about being able to ride a test. So I think every day it's reminders about that and being ready to do a show at any point. I mean, we're in the winter right now. There's no shows coming out, but I'm still riding like, okay, I'm going to be, I'm getting ready for the next competition. So I think that's important to, keep your eyes on the prize day by day.
So I have a question for both you guys. Do you guys school the test from start to finish? Hillary, do you do that? Do you do that with your own riding and with your students, or do you not school the test?
Yes, I do school the test, and I have my students do it as well. And I know that it's not perfect for everyone to do that, but the reason I do it is, or rather to clarify, when I have the upper level work, I will school the test. And for me, it's just because of, a sports psychology thing where I feel like it's easier to do it when I really repeat it and feel comfortable with it from beginning to end. But then the rest of the time, I don't do the pieces the same way. So if I'm going to do something and, run through the pieces, I'll usually do the entire canter tour and then leave it for the week versus kind of doing pieces here and there. But, then on other times in the off season, I'll school more like, preparing for it, that kind of thing. And I'll go back to those pieces when I feel like it's not there and I run through it. For my students, I generally have them run through the test completely, but mostly because I think, as you guys were saying before, it's really good as a goal. So I don't do it frequently with them, but I think it's really good for them once a month to just run through the whole thing and feel as though at least it's through the winter time they've run through it once a month, so they feel really comfortable with it and they know that they're still on track, and that when we get to the show season that for us starts in about the end of April, we all feel as though we've run through the pieces enough and the whole test that we really haven't mastered when we go to the show, but we haven't been drilling it, 8 times every single day, if that answers your question.
Yeah, and for us, I mean, I think as we get closer to show season, we're schooling the tests more. But like I said, just kind of doing the pieces at the moment, and preparing for kind of thinking about what tests do we want to ride next year, and where are we at, and what are we going to be doing. So it's not a regular thing to be doing, but in show season, at least in the as we're leading up to show season, we got to be schooling the test. And then during the season, because of how the shows are, and we try to get a little bit away from it again, because then you're ending up doing the tests a lot because you're going to a show maybe every 2 weeks or something. And so, like Hillary said, just kind of getting comfortable with it and knowing over the winter that, yes, this is our goal and this is what we're going to have to be doing eventually. And then, lots of preparation coming into the season. And then during the season, kind of doing other things with the horses so they don't get too sour on there's only 3 tests per level sort of thing. So, and then just gauging, how everybody's feeling about it, how the horses are, how each individual horse is feeling about, drilling the test. Or if it helps some people, we do it more. If it doesn't, we don't. There's no real black and white. But for sure, coming up to the show, every horse is run through the test that they're going to do quite a few times. So,
yeah. I do. I mean, I asked that question, and we do. I feel pretty strongly that, you need to run through it, because sometimes there's certain movements that on paper, they don't look that challenging. Like, I can get that stretchy trot. But when add in the lengthening, this is in first level, and
the
it's
lengthen
tricky.
before. Yeah.
Lengthen before, then the stretchy
Go back
circle,
and
then you have a
stretch,
collected walk or a medium walk score. You ride that. And if you don't know sort of how to ride it and how to plan for it, it doesn't go very well. So,
yeah, I mean, it can point out holes in the training a little bit, right? And say, wait, I need to work on that for a couple of weeks and then come back to it as a test in the hole. So,
right.
yeah, it's handy.
So,
for sure.
yeah, so we do. But I think, again, well, you have 3 people, 3 trainers that do. But you could ask 10 trainers and get 50-50. I mean, some people don't, some people do. But I don't know. I'm a planner, so I like to know. I like to know what's up.
With Christmas season fast approaching, it's time to start planning a custom gift that will last for many years to come. Visit our friends at EasySignsOnline.com and browse their unique website for their many custom sign options and styles.
With affordable prices for customized signs starting at $39.95, your holiday gift giving just got easier. Their step-by-step online sign ordering process allows you to choose only the sign options you want and see all the pricing up front. From horse farm entrance signs, vinyl banners, magnetic vehicle signs to stall nameplates, and much, much more for every horse owner.
They ship to every state in the U.S., so take advantage of an additional 10% off coupon to all Horse Radio Network listeners. Simply mention HRN13 when ordering. That's HRN13. A $75 order minimums for discount. Cannot be combined with other discounts or coupons. Free shipping also applies to most sign orders, so see the website for details.
Place your order early to allow plenty of time for Christmas delivery. Check out the website today at EasySignsOnline.com. That's EasySignsOnline.com or call them at 1-800-640-8180. That's 1-800-640-8180.
Well, that pretty much takes care of it. You can find lots more tips on topics ranging from barn care to websites for horse people at horsetipdaily.com. Just look for the topics drop-down menu on the left. And you can listen to the Dressage Radio Show every week at dressageradio.com. Now, you can have all of the Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go, including Horse Tip Daily and the Dressage Radio Show, with our new free app for iPhone and Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. Download it for free. It's quick and easy. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. Today's podcast has been brought to you through the generous support of Equestrian Collections and Easy Signs Online. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.